Welcome back to the Virtually Vikings radio show, the half-hour program that will be discussing all things St. John's River State College. Each week, we'll be spotlighting a new degree, a program, events, or resources that are offered through the college. I'm your host, Mickey Johns. Thank you all for tuning in. And today, we are excited to be discussing the scholarship applications, and we're going to be meeting the college's new foundations director, Miss Jolynn Carter. Thank you so much for joining me today, Miss Jolynn.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Oh, we're loving this. Can you tell me exactly what the journey is to becoming a director for the foundations?
Well, mine's kind of an unusual journey. I was a military brat whenever I was born, and then grown up, and then my husband and I got married whenever I was 20. So yeah, I got married young. Went to school and graduated, got my degree, and then we moved to from Washington State to Virginia, where I worked for my first job out of college at my degree was in marketing, but I worked at an advertising agency, and then I got pregnant. And then we moved to Hawaii, and I had another baby. I volunteered because I was bored and I needed
Uh-huh.
something to do, but it's not your usual journey. And then we moved here to Florida in 2004, and I started working again. I knew I needed to work. I worked for Cox Radio in Jacksonville, which is a very fun job. But my husband, being military, he deployed a lot. So I had to quit work, stay home with my babies, and I volunteered and I did events. I love doing events, and I had somebody teach me graphic design, started my own graphic design business, and then volunteered for some galas for some nonprofits. And in the meantime, I decided to become a fitness director because why not? And then, I threw my head out there. My husband was about to retire, and I got a job at Thrasher Horn in Orange Park, working for St. John's River State College in the marketing department. And still with my nonprofits that I volunteered with, they invited me after I'd been working at Thrasher Horn for 3 years to come be their development director. I didn't know what that was. So I learned over the last 3.5 years. And yeah, now I'm working here as a foundation director. So kind of a not your usual path, but here I am.
The unusual path, though, totally helps you with some of the different paths our students take and the different challenges they might be seeing. You can kind of see that, especially from the military background and our
Yeah.
love for our military families.
Well, the military makes you either make friends easily or not. So I had to learn
Yes.
to do that. So that didn't hurt. But also volunteering while you're not working,
Mm-hmm.
people think that it doesn't do a lot, but it does. And it really
Oh,
makes a difference whenever you're applying for those jobs. So I highly recommend, if you get to that point in your life where you're taking care of children, still volunteer, because you can go back into your career path and still keep going. So
I love the idea. That's a really smart thing, staying involved and getting connections and things like that. And I have to love that you're with us. I mean, it's amazing that you have these paths that you can help with and encourage and talk with us through those things.
Well, I will say one other thing that students can do is get involved with their local chamber of commerce if they're in the business entity or not. You can they each leadership or each chamber has a leadership class, and I recommend as soon as you are like out of college, you just go and get involved in whatever your career path is, and just let them know, and it lets the employers know that you are really, really involved and interested. So I just recommend that too.
Yes, that networking opportunity through the chambers is amazing. I wish I
It
had
is
taken part of
huge.
it when I was younger.
Me too. Me too. So that's why I really, really, really want to encourage young people, because you guys have all the energy, and the chamber needs that too. So
Yes, fresh faces, fresh ideas, always a good thing for our chambers and
absolutely. Yes.
anything within volunteering.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. And not to mention it helps the nonprofits that you're volunteering for. So
Yes, always
yes.
helping nonprofits. Perfect. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. We love that we're part of that here at the college. We were also very excited when you joined the team back on because, kind of with Thrasher, you were on the team already. So we're
Yes.
happy to have you back.
Well, and I'm loving being back. Everybody is so great, so great, such a great organization. So,
Yay! Love hearing that too. On the other side of why we have you here, I know in the past we've talked with about the scholarship applications with other shows, but I do want to hit back on that just because it's such a great opportunity. But we did get kind of some questions after the last time we talked about it on our show. Could you explain exactly what a scholarship is? Some folks are kind of concerned what they're actually applying for.
sure. So scholarships, unlike loans, they do not have to be paid back. These funds are donated by businesses and local community members who care about students' future. We have scholarships that are specific to certain programs, students in certain counties. Some scholarships that are, obviously everybody thinks that a scholarship, if in order to get one, you have to get like straight A's. You don't. Some are academically based. But some are cool because they involve overcoming adversity, and there's also scholarships, lots of scholarships out there actually for non-traditional students.
Ooh, okay. So you said two things. I definitely want to follow up on there here. So they're not all just academically based. When I get to the high schools, I'm always saying that, and they don't believe me. Just because they don't have that 4.0, they can still get scholarships.
Absolutely. There's some scholarships out there. You can have a 2.5 GPA
Okay.
and still get, yes. I mean, I did pretty well in college, but I mean in high school, but some people, they have some struggles for whatever reason, and there's
Mm-hmm.
still some out there. So I didn't know this. I wish I would have known this. I would have applied for a lot more. So um yeah, not all of them are academically based. I would say even only half of them. So that we have to offer. So
I'm right there with you. I think I thought I had to have those great scholarships, like those great grades to get scholarships. So I didn't even apply to half of what I should have.
yep.
Okay, the other thing that really caught my eye, you brought up the word non-traditional students. I know what it means, but could you kind of explain to our like our listeners what a non-traditional student is or what we see them as?
Sure. These are students that may be returning to school after a change of career, or that they might choose a different path than what they chose right after high school. It's just not your usual 18-year-olds coming out of college or coming out of high school going into college. These are anybody else that fits into that other criteria. So, yeah.
Which is awesome because a lot of people think that all the scholarships are just going to that current class graduating from high school versus those students coming back from something else. The fact that there is scholarships and funding out there for them, it's so important for people to know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not just St. John's River State College, even though this is what we're focusing on. There are a lot
Right?
of other scholarship applications. One in particular that I know about is Clay Electric. So those non-traditional students, you apply for that Clay Electric grant or scholarship, not grant.
Right. So as long as you're a college student, there's a scholarship out there for you to apply for, and definitely St. John's has over 182 different or 100 yeah 100 over 100 scholarships out there titled wise.
Yes.
So definitely getting on those applications is important to do because it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're a student with us.
That's right. That's right. And always ask the questions. Ask, hey, don't be afraid. That's what I tell just all the younger people, just don't be afraid to ask, because the answer is always going to be no if you don't ask. So
Right.
don't be afraid to ask.
The worst thing you can hear is the no because we're not tracking if we tell you no. We just have to
Right.
answer the question.
Right. That is exactly right. Yep.
So I hear a lot of when I'm out there, well, I've already got my parents paid for prepaid, or my parents, I'm getting the Florida Right Futures. Like, obviously, these are high school students I'm talking to, not just our non traditional students when I get those stories. Is there a limit? I mean, I tell them one thing, but just clearing with you, is there a limit on funding students can get? Can they stack up scholarships?
They totally can stack up scholarships. Funding may be used all at once. Scholarships can be stacked on any other funding you receive, like Pell Grant, GI Bill, Bright Futures, Florida Prepaid, the 509, or any other scholarships. In certain cases, scholarships can also be used to pay for other expenses, not just your tuition and books. These can include gas, groceries, or rent, or anything else you have going on. So, yeah, the stacking, and every college is probably a little bit different in how they apply them. But yes, you can have money and you can have it refunded to you to use for anything else. We don't want to say go on vacation with it, but you can if you wanted to.
Right. I like to say it's the college experience, whatever gets you from Monday to Friday. So you're still showing
That
up for
is
class.
exactly right. That is exactly right. So yes, no, yeah. There are some scholarships that are refundable, and that's what you can get your stuff, and some that are not. Some that have to be applied for tuition and books only. So you just got to know what you got going on.
In other words, apply for anything and everything. It's going to take some
Apply
time to
for
get the
anything and
quote
everything.
unquote free
Yes.
money, but
But it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Maybe it'll fund if you're, going into a certain club or something, it can help fund that. Or if you're in the nursing program and you need, money for uniforms or anything else, it could be used for that as well. So,
perfect. So stack them
yeah,
up, get as many as you can.
that's right. That's right.
Good to know I haven't been misquoting myself
No,
all
no,
these
you're doing
years.
great, Mickey. You're doing great.
Not to ask for the pat on the back or anything. Okay, we're telling them to apply. Let's get right into it. How do students apply for scholarships with us at the college?
Okay. So the application can be found at sjrstate.edu/scholarships. It's as easy as that. So you can go onto our website. You can even go into the search thing on the website and put in scholarships, and you'll be able to find the page. Scholarships are open until April 1st, and that is no joke. You guys need to apply by April 1st. Do not lose out on this potential money. To apply, you have to complete the scholarship application, be a new or returning SJR state student. You must maintain a 2.0 GPA, y'all. Is that a C? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a C. So, and then you must complete all scholarship requirements. So, that's listed there. You'll need to set up a new account using your personal email, not your high school email or any school email that you might not have access to, because we will not be able to contact you after you graduate if you use that email. And then just a little bit on FAFSA. The FAFSA is not required to be complete in order for you to fill out the scholarship application. However, some scholarships require that you fill it out. So by filling out the FAFSA, you could qualify for even more scholarships.
Perfect. And I love pulling that one up as well. We were talking about stacking, completing that FAFSA. A lot of seniors aren't doing it just because they don't think they're going to qualify for the grants that come from FAFSA,
Right, but
but
you might qualify for a scholarship.
it might be a
Absolutely.
check in a box saying it's completed, so you're open up for more scholarships.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
to underline one more thing, do not, for those that are the graduating class this year, do not use that high school email. They take you right out of the system right after you graduate. And if I'm emailing you in June or if Foundations is trying to reach out to you, they're not going to be able to get you. And that's just not going to work if we're trying to say, hey, come contact us. We need you to sign some paperwork.
Hey, and just also real and keep in mind that some scholarships we have to wait for some of the monies to come from state or something else to like as a matching scholarship amount. So just because you've applied for one and you haven't heard, you might hear the next semester. So don't give up. And you can always call us back and ask us, hey, where are we at with that? We can say, well, we're waiting for funding or not, but just don't give up. And again, apply for as many as you can. So
I, I'm actually, I mean, I'm in the same suite as one of the lady that disperses that money or sends out that money. And
yes,
she's still at this point in the year still getting information on getting out to send out more scholarships. It's so fun to hear when there's more
absolutely.
money to hand out.
Absolutely. And part of my job is going out as a foundation director and going out and getting more scholarship money. So the more stories that I have to tell, so you guys, if you do get a scholarship, come and give us your story for sure. So that way we can help other students in the future. So
That's, I love getting to kind of step in on those scholarship nights and hear the stories of people sharing how excited they were to get the money or hearing a little bit about why they were selected for the scholarship they were awarded.
oh,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely.
it's
I'm so excited to be part of this. The committee that's going to choose some of these scholarships. I've heard that reading some of the stories are just amazing. So
I'm glad I'm not part of that committee. I like helping them apply and helping them get to find out that they got them because I don't want to have to choose because we have so many
No, no,
amazing
no, no,
students.
no, no, no. But the good thing is there are a lot of scholarships out there. So
Good. And it sounds like you're getting more all the time. So I love that too.
yeah, that's right, that's right. And that's part of this podcast too, is you guys apply. There, and what I found out coming into this position is there are some scholarships that have nobody applying for them. So the money just sits there. So please, please, please apply.
I always tell students it's my goal to hear all scholarships have been used 1 year, and in all the years
Yes.
I've been here, we've yet to do that. So it is one of
Well,
my work goals to see you guys run out of money 1 year.
yes, yes. And I will say, y'all, that the foundation gave out over $400,000 in scholarships last year. So that's
Woohoo!
just amazing. It's amazing. So that you know that there's scholarships out there.
Yay! Okay, but back to the not so, like, back to the more serious side of it. What kind
Okay.
of questions are students going to be able to, like, look at when they get, like, it gets overwhelming. So, kind of an idea before they go and actually apply. What are questions they should be expecting on this application? What should they prepare for?
Okay, well, the scholarship application, it starts with basic information about you, like your academic history, where you live, any activities that you participated in outside of college or high school. After that, it goes into two short essay questions that are up to 500 words each. That's it.
Oh, I mean, so basically what you fill out for any application, whether it's a job or
Right,
when they applied for
right.
college, that same basic information you should really know by the time you're ready to go to college.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's information about yourself. I mean, you know what you've done. You know what you've been up to. So, yeah.
Okay, and the other part that gets nervous, because you said the words essays. There's two short essays. Any idea? Could you share what the questions are so they can kind of prepare?
Yeah, I can give you the scoop on this.
Yay!
So the first question is, how would a scholarship help you achieve your goals? See, even I have to pronounce it. How would a scholarship help you achieve your goals, and tell us your story? And the second question is, and why did you choose SJR State?
I mean, those seem so easy. But, and you said they're short, so they're what? Like you're looking for 5 pages, one
No,
page? What are we looking
500
for?
words, 500 words each. That's it. That's it.
What? Okay, so two essays, 500 words. That's all you're looking for?
That's it.
That's
There's not even, you don't even have to get, we've done away with having to have references. So if you want to give those to us, you certainly still can, but they're not required.
always a good thing because students get nervous when they have to ask for those references. It
Well,
always
you
seems
know
to
what?
be a
People
stumbling
looking
block,
for a
even though
job
people would
have this.
reference them.
Yeah, people that have jobs have the same problems. You're like, oh my gosh, who am I going to ask? Are they going to say something nice? So,
Yes. I definitely panicked when I went back for my master's degree. I was like, wait, who should I ask? And oh gosh, I need them tomorrow. I was begging people like crazy and saying, I'm sorry. So I'm glad we took those out because it's definitely an intimidating option. So just two
no,
short
it
essays
is.
in the application. But with those essays, do you have any tips on filling that out? Like, what should students be looking for? Just looking at a blank box is scary.
Sure. So when you're answering those questions, don't stress over trying to answer them perfectly. Just be honest, and more importantly, be yourself. Write something about how you would write about yourself, about how you would recommend your best friend to somebody else. Don't be afraid to share your accomplishments and struggles. Like brag on yourself a little bit. And
Yeah.
please do not, whatever you do not use Chat GPT to rewrite your answers, because it will not come across as authentic. It'll come across as about, in this
Right.
day of AI, everybody is looking at stuff and they're going, is this written by chat? So just be yourself, be yourself, be yourself, and brag on yourself.
And while you're saying be yourself, still have somebody look behind you on punctuation and grammar. It's still going to be important.
A hundred
I,
percent. Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe even give it to, your favorite mentor, your mom or your dad to look over. Yeah, it's just like your essays in college. You need to have the right punctuation because, I mean, there's bad examples.
I yes, yes, yes. So those grammar commas make a big difference in sentences, as I like to say. And I love the brag about like you're bragging about your best friend. That's a great way of saying it. You're not going to put your best friend down when you're trying to get them something great. So that's a lovely explanation for what it is.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then one of the other things I love to say as far as the best friend thing is also while we're saying, it's the time to be the bright, shiny star, talk about those accomplishments. Don't brag to the point that you can't back it up either. I love saying you're not the president of the paleontology club if the paleontology club doesn't exist. But
Right.
obviously, brag about yourself as much as possible.
Yeah, just don't over embellish, but definitely, yeah. I mean, I think most people, they don't celebrate themselves enough. Some people definitely do. And we know those people, but most people do not. So just and write it, and also have like your mom, if she's your best friend, or your best friend, look at it and see what they would add, maybe, you know?
Perfect. I love that. That's
Yeah,
a great idea too. Having somebody else just kind of chime in doesn't hurt. As long as you're putting
right.
it in your own voice. Again, going back to that, it's got to
Again,
sound like you. When we meet you and you don't sound like a robot, we're gonna not be surprised when we read your kind of
right.
thing. Want to make it sound like you.
Yep.
I know you've said it, but it never hurts to say it multiple times. When's that deadline to apply for these applications?
April 1st. It's not a joke. I know it's April Fool's Day, but it's not a joke. Applications are due April 1st. So mark it on your calendar, maybe start writing, the 3 weeks, give yourself a little bit of leeway so you can look it over, let somebody else look it over. But yeah, April 1st though. Please don't pass the deadline because we're shutting it off.
Exactly. Don't be an April
Yeah.
Fool. It would be the worst joke on yourself. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Um, I always even say like the day before, like make sure everything's turned in the day before, like everything's covered. I wouldn't want it to
Yeah,
something
you can
glitch.
submit it early. Please submit it early. We are taking them early. We're taking them up until April 1st. It's kind of like getting your taxes done. You got to get them done by April 15th. Do them before.
Love it. Pull it in that way. April 1st, everybody's hit enter, and then we get to start awarding, right? Are they going to start hearing on April 2nd? When do we
Are they
start
going to?
awarding the scholarships?
Oh, no, 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 no. It takes a little bit of time. So April 1st is the deadline, and we have a scholarship committee that's going to be reviewing those. But the anticipated time is within, the next month and a half. So where we start to give them out and award them. And then
Okay.
again, it could be up until the next semester. So again, don't give up on them if you haven't heard, but you can always check back with us.
Just make sure they're giving you the correct phone number, the best email address to contact you,
Yes,
or
yes.
contact them, and
Every way that you can be communicated with, please put that on your application, whether phone, if you don't answer your text all the time, put an email, just make sure that you're checking those things. Because we have had within this last month, we couldn't contact 4 students.
oh my goodness, yeah.
So that we had money set aside for. So that please, 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 all the information that you can give us that we can contact you successfully.
It never hurts to double check that junk or spam file as well. I remember a student years ago kept getting upset they weren't hearing any emails from the college, and for some reason we were getting sent to their spam file and had missed every contact we'd gotten from them, and they almost missed deadlines for that.
Yeah.
So definitely
Yes.
kind of follow up and check in, make sure we're not blocked on your system.
That is exactly right. So again, the multiple ways, if email, and just in case it goes to spam, give us your text, give us your cell phone number, or give us that we can text you, that we can call you. So we're going to try every effort possible to contact you if you've won a scholarship.
Yay! I love
Yeah.
that. And then, if we get it beforehand, we'll get to celebrate them and definitely do, something like a scholarship night again. I'm hoping we're doing this again this fall where we bring them all together and celebrate them.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yay! I love
yes.
those events as well. I keep yaying. I love the happy news of scholarships.
No, it's kind of like running like a game show, right?
Yep.
I love watching those because it's happy.
Those nights are always so fun, and I love taking part in that. So I look forward to those every year, getting to talk to students and see their excitement and finding out what they're signing and things like that, and see them get a chance to actually send a thank you to people who selected them. It
Yep.
warms your heart to
It
be
it
some
really,
amazing
really
students here at St.
does.
John's.
It really, really does. Yeah. So every chance that we can get, whether it be in the fall or if we have a specific one with, a hospital or something, we're going to do a signing every chance that we can get. So
And I know you keep referencing the hospital because you did say nursing too. So we don't just have the scholarships. I'm bouncing around. We talked about something
you're
beforehand, and I'm
good.
bouncing around on you. They're not just for our traditional students or the average student in St. John's. It's only going to be here for 2 years with the intent of going on to a university, like the typical student. We've talked about the non-traditional student. For our career pathway students, those ones in that nursing, our radiology technology, the paralegal, our criminal
Yep.
justice programs, any of I mentioned a couple of the health ones, our business and computer sciences, engineering, there's scholarships specifically for those.
Yes, there's scholarships specifically for almost every category that you can think of. And there are donors out there that maybe that was their path and they've chosen. So we have designated scholarships in pretty much every realm that you can think of. So It is quite an honor to be on the foundation and be the director because I can see and we can give out and give help and hope to all these different students. So it's amazing. I love it.
I love that there's even specific ones for those. Again, students don't realize all the opportunities that are out there. So thank you for kind of hitting on that again with me on that respect. So no matter what, if you're a student at St. John's, you definitely want to apply. I'm assuming the message you want to get here on this one.
That is exactly right. If you're a student at St. John's, apply, apply, apply. And just in in the next couple of months, we're going to be awarding a lot of scholarships. So I'm just so excited.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on this morning
You're
and
welcome.
joining us and having a chat about scholarships and telling us about your story.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I'm so glad that I can at least share the message and really hit on home. You guys, April 1st, April 1st, please, please, please apply for those scholarships.
I don't think we've said it enough, so I'll say it a couple more times before we get done for the day. But thank you so much. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to this episode of the Virtually Vikings. We hope you've enjoyed our insightful conversation with the director of the foundations, Ms. Jolynn Carter, about the amazing scholarship opportunities and her story of bringing us back here to St. John's River State College. Remember, anyone is welcome to apply. If you're going to be attending St. John's River State in the fall this year, or in the spring, maybe you're not coming in the fall, but you're coming in the spring, hit that application date by April 1st. You
April
can find
1.
it on the college website. There's a big button right there on the top when you get in. We have many different places to get there to you, but it's sjrstate.edu/scholarships is where you're going
Yeah,
to find that application. At the bottom, hit that one, not the apply now at the top. The apply now at the top is the college application. But again, thank you, Ms. Jolynn, one more time for joining us
you're
this morning.
welcome. Thank you,
Yay!
Mickey. I
Thank
appreciate it. And we'll see y'all again.
If you, the listeners, have any questions or topic ideas that you'd like us to cover in the future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please reach out to us at virtuallyvikings@sjrstate.edu or any of the St. John's River State College social media accounts. Your feedback and suggestions are always welcome. That's why we're talking with Ms. Jolynn Carter today, hitting on some of those questions for the scholarships today. Remember, whether you're looking to start a new career, advance in your current one, or simply exploring new subjects, the college here at St. John's has the resources and support you need to succeed, and we want to help you with that. We're here to help you every step of that way. So don't forget, scholarship applications due by April 1st. One more time, scholarships April 1st. Until next time, we'll see you around and have a good day and go Vikings!
Go Vikings.